Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. This is Guns and Gadgets, the premier source for Second Amendment news, and I want to give you an update on some pressure that we have put out that has caused others to join and put pressure on Congress related to the Hearing Protection Act and the Short Act. Again, Hearing Protection Act would remove suppressors from the NFA, no more tax from the NFA, no more tax stamp, no more registration. And the Short Act would do the same for short-barreled rifles, short-barreled shotguns. We're making progress specifically on the Hearing Protection Act. We need more pressure for both, but specifically the Short Act if we want it. And I want to read you a letter that came out of Representative J.R. Hoell, H-O-E-L-L, out of New Hampshire. And his open letter, which if you're a company and you want to get on this, you can. If you're a Second Amendment advocacy group, you can get on this too. If you're a legislator, you can get on this too. And I humbly ask you all to pressure these people, these groups, these companies to do that. Show us where you stand. Are you with us or are you just flapping gums? Here's a letter, guys and gals. It's a couple pages. I'm going to read you the whole thing, but then I'm going to read you everybody that signed on to it as of right now. I just got the update from Representative Hoell from New Hampshire last night. Originally sent on May 17th, and it's an open letter to reform the National Firearms Act. And it was sent to Jody Arrington, the chairman of the House Committee on Budget in the U.S. House of Representatives, as well as Virginia Foxx, who's the chairperson of the House Committee on Rules, which is where it's going next, the budget bill. It says, Rep. Arrington and Rep. Foxx and members of the House Committees on Budget and Rules. As leaders of the undersigned organizations or elected officials, we demand immediate inclusion of portions of the Hearing Protection Act, H.R. 404, and the Stop Harassing Owners of Rifles Today, the Short Act, H.R. 2395, in the forthcoming reconciliation bill. These critical pieces of legislation address long-standing unjust restrictions imposed by the National Firearms Act of 1934, which infringe upon the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding Americans. The failure to incorporate these bills into the reconciliation package would represent a profound missed opportunity to restore individual liberty, protect public health, and uphold constitutional guarantees. The Hearing Protection Act, H.R. 404, introduced by Representative Ben Cline out of Virginia, seeks to remove firearm suppressors from the NFA's burdensome regulatory framework, replacing it with a streamlined purchase process for typical accessories. Suppressors, contrary to the popular misconceptions, do not silence firearms, but significantly reduce noise levels, mitigating the risk of permanent hearing loss for shooters and hunters. The American Academy of Otolaryngology, Head and Neck Surgery, has endorsed suppressors as effective tools for preventing hearing damage, a public health concern affecting millions of Americans. The current NFA requirements, including a $200 tax stamp for both manufacture and transfer of the devices, extensive paperwork, and excessive waiting times, serve no meaningful public safety purpose while imposing undue financial and administrative burdens on responsible citizens. With over 4.8 million suppressors in civilian circulation, the widespread use underscores the need for reform. Similarly, the Short Act, H.R. 2395, addresses the arbitrary NFA classification of short-barreled rifles, SBRs, and short-barreled shotguns, SBSs, which subjects them to the same onerous regulations as transferable machine guns and other highly restricted devices. This outdated framework, rooted in the 1930s era fear of organized crime, lacks relevance in the modern context where SBRs and SBSs pose no greater threat than standard rifles or shotguns. The Short Act would delist these firearms from the NFA, eliminating unnecessary barriers to ownership and ensuring that law-abiding Americans are not penalized for exercising their constitutional rights. Language compliant with the U.S. Senate Byrd Rule, 2 U.S.C. 644, is circulating the Second Amendment community and should be incorporated in the current budget reconciliation package. The urgency of including this language in the reconciliation package cannot be overstated. Recent reports indicate that the House Ways and Means Committee has delayed action on both H.R. 404 and H.R. 2395, potentially due to lobbying efforts that prioritize commercial interests over the public good. Such delays are unacceptable, particularly when public sentiment, as reflected in numerous grassroots calls to action, overwhelmingly supports NFA reform. The reconciliation process offers a unique opportunity to bypass Senate filibuster constraints, ensuring that these common sense reforms reach the House floor and become law. Failure to seize this moment risks further entrenching an antiquated and unconstitutional regulatory regime. Opponents of these reforms, such as Michael Bloomberg's Every Town for Gun Safety, argue that suppressor deregulation poses public safety risks by making gunfire less detectable. This claim is false and ignores the reality that suppressors reduce, but do not eliminate, firearm noise. Moreover, homemade suppressors are readily accessible to those with criminal intent. The public safety argument against SBR deregulation is equally baseless, as these firearms are functionally identical to their longer-barreled counterparts. These objections, often rooted in fear-mongering rather than evidence, should not override the constitutional rights of millions of Americans. The Second Amendment unequivocally protects the right to keep and bear arms, and the NFA's restrictive provisions, originally enacted to combat gang violence nearly a century ago, have long outlived their utility. The Hearing Protection Act and the Short Act represent measured, practical steps toward aligning federal law with contemporary realities and constitutional principles. Their inclusion in the reconciliation bill is not merely a policy preference, but a moral and legal imperative. We, the signatories, therefore demand that the House Committee on Rules and the Committee on Budgets act decisively to ensure that the publicly available, broadly supported modified language of H.R. 404 and H.R. 2395 are incorporated into the reconciliation package in their entirety, without dilution or compromise. The American people deserve legislation that respects their rights, promotes public health, and dismantles unnecessary bureaucratic obstacles. We strongly urge you to heed the calls of millions of gun owners and Second Amendment advocates who have made their voices clear. The time for action is now. And you can pause it here to see everybody who signed on to this letter, because I want them to get their just due. All of these people have put their name on a document standing for our rights over public policy because of the 1930s. I also want to thank the sponsor of the video, Blackout Coffee, where you can get our new shirt just like this. We got a few others. And I've been on the go a lot lately, and I've been using, here they are, a lot of our individual packets of our instant coffee. Check that out. It's our premium instant coffee, as well as our canned cold brew lattes. It's getting warm outside, so cool off and get a kick of caffeine as well. blackoutcoffee.com/GNG. Guys and gals, let me know what you think of this letter. Yes, strongly worded letters mean diddly, but these people are putting their names out there demanding that our elected representatives do what they promised during the elections. We got a lot of work to do, so I'm going to ask you again, even if you've called a couple times already, I want you to keep calling, keep the pressure on, because it's working. I got a message from somebody who talked to a representative at 11 p.m. yesterday in the Capitol, and the pressure is working. Area code 202-224-3121 is the switchboard for the Capitol. Ask for your representative. If you don't know them by name, you just tell them where you live, and they'll know their district, and they'll put you right to that office. Tell them you want the full version of the Hearing Protection Act and the full version of the Short Act included in the budget reconciliation package, and ask them to follow up with you. You want to know whether they backed it or not, and you want to know how they voted on this package. That is big. So thank you guys and gals. Oh, also hit them on their X, their formerly Twitter. That is having a profound effect on these people. The phone calls and the DMs and the messages and the replies to their comments are causing a lot of heat. And when politicians feel the heat, they all of a sudden see the light. And that's what we want. We want the NFA to be destroyed piece by piece. If you are an individual, a gun group, a state-level gun group, and you want your name on this, if you're a representative or a senator in some other state, and you want your name on this, you should. It's an open letter. You can email reprhoell@gmail.com for inclusion. I'll put that in the description below and in the pinned comment. Get you some Blackout Coffee. That's why I'm so wired right now. Have a great day. Stay free, America. Let's keep the pressure on. our representatives. Take care, y'all.